Hello, everybody. Cash Sirois from the Collectible Network. This is Unpacking. This is our interview show, and this is a titan of the industry. This is Brian Gray, the owner of Leaf, and you've got quite a history that goes beyond that name that you hold so dear right now. But that's a big deal, man. And I want to thank you for being on the Collectible Network.
Thanks, man. No, it's been quite a wild ride. I've been doing this since the late '80s, and I don't feel old enough to be able to say I've been doing this for 25, 30 years. What is it? That's a long time. 33 years.
I used to make fun of the people that said, "Oh, I've got cards in my attic and I haven't looked at them in 30 years," and I suddenly realized, oh my God, I'm that person. I haven't looked at my stuff in 30 years, and it was Thanksgiving of last year that I'm like, I got to go through this stuff, and that's what's culminated in everything.
It was fun again, wasn't it?
It was great. It was amazing.
I mean, it's crazy.
All right, I want to start off. With the very beginning, and this is a question that I've asked everybody. A lot of time I've left it to the end of the interview, but I'd rather start at the beginning with you. What is the first thing that you remember collecting? Because now it's your whole life. So what was it? A card? Was it a toy? Was it something? But it was some. What was it that
it
made
was
you...
cards. It was cards. I remember going
specific
into
card?
It was. I went into like the drugstore, and I don't know what it was called. It wasn't CVS or Walgreens. It was something like that. And I bought an '83 Fleer cello pack.
Okay.
So I bought an '83. So I was 10 years old, 11 years old. So I was a little bit older. Some kids start younger, but that's when I started. And I was very lucky that, once I got the bug, the baseball card store across, a mile from my house was Dr. Beckett's store.
Ah, yes.
So the store Dr. Beckett owned, First Base, was right across the street, like down the street from me. So it was like, once I got the bug, I was able to feed it, but that's where I got the bug. It was '83 Fleer. I bought one cello pack, and then it was over,
Did you get anybody? Was there a card in that '83 Fleer set?
Well, back then, people wanted Ron Kittle, and like guys that are not important now from a long-term perspective, but
is '83 Kirby Puckett's rookie year?
No, he's 84 Fleer. I believe '85 was his first pack.
Okay.
So '83 would have been Gwynn, Sandberg.
Gwynn is what I was thinking.
Gwynn, Sandberg, Boggs.
Yep.
But I don't remember when I pulled. I mean, I don't even remember when I pulled. I just remember that was the first pack, and I thought, this is so cool. It was cheap. I got a ton of cards. I played with them. Like, I set them up on the field and made them hit and do stuff. I mean, I don't know what I did, but that's where I got the fever at the beginning, and then it just got crazy.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
So then, how did you elevate into the business? Obviously, you own companies now. But what was your escalator like through the industry?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm blessed because of all the people who own card companies, I'm the only one who is actually a collector. None of the other owners of card companies are collectors.
They're all business people.
They're business people,
yeah.
And I like to think I'm a business person, but they're not collectors. I've done everything. I collected. In 1990, I worked for ProSet, so I worked for a manufacturer. That was my first job in the business. But I did shows late 80s, so I was a show dealer. I worked for a manufacturer. We had a distribution.
You're like a guy that owns the restaurant that also ran the fry cook, made the salads.
That's it. We had a distribution company from 1991 to 2008, where we were one of the biggest, blowout cards or whatever it is now. Back then, before there was a blowout cards, that was us. And then I started manufacturing cards in 2008 under the Razor brand, 2010 under Leaf. So it's like I've been a collector, a show dealer. I've had stores. I've owned stores before. So I've done all of it. And so it gives me a really unique perspective on the business that a lot of people don't have because they've been one thing in the food chain. Mm-hmm. But once you've done everything, you really know how the sausage is made. And I still love it, which is great. Because after the time you know how the sausage is made, you don't want sausage anymore.
Right. That's awesome. So buying a company, was Leaf the first brand that you bought?
It was the first brand I bought, for manufacturing.
So buying Leaf, what was your intent? What was your goal? They had splintered off from Donruss, Leaf, and so you could get that thing separately. Well, what was your goal, and how has that changed over the years?
Well, I started manufacturing under a brand called Razor. And then once I heard that Panini did not renew their license on Leaf, I was like, I have to have that.
So was it just out there to be gotten?
Well, they were paying a bunch of money per year to use the name.
Yep.
They said they didn't want to use it anymore. So we called the owner, who's a Finnish candy company, in Finland.
Huh.
And we reached out to him and said, what's the deal? No one wants it now. What will you take right now cash for it? They gave us an offer, we took it. And really what it did was, we could have built from scratch without the brand, but it allowed us to buy a history and a legacy and a brand equity that you just don't get. It takes a decade to build that. Mm-hmm. So we got a running start. We have to thank Panini for letting that go because it gave us a running start that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And just gave us the opportunity to springboard so much faster.
Yeah.
And in 10 years, what we've done in 10 years, 11 years now is mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's been a dream, truly.
So there's pluses and minuses to licensing. obviously costs a lot, so that's something you have to deal with. But you get the perks of the logos and all that stuff. But there's a lot of creative freedom in the space that you guys live in
For sure.
to do things that people with licenses can't do.
Yeah,
And
no,
and
for
granted,
sure.
that is what you sell when that's what you have.
Sure.
But tell me about the difficulties and the freedoms of being in the space you are with Leaf.
I mean, the space I'm in is the best. No rules, total creativity. The rules are the law, and we push the limits of IP because we know the law and we know what we can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we do a phenomenal job of delivering value to the customer in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
The licensed companies, so much of the money goes to the league and to the players
Yep.
that it's much harder to create a value proposition. So where a key player like Trevor Lawrence may only fall one every 20 cases in a Panini product, they come in almost every case of Leaf. So we're able to deliver some of these things at a different level. It's just a value proposition. When you buy your television, what features are important to you? If it's about getting autographs of the best players, our products can deliver that more often. If it's about the logo on the jersey, by all means, go buy Panini Tops or whoever, or in the future Fanatics. Go buy whatever it is if that's where you place your value.
What's your relationships with the break community?
The breakers?
Yeah.
Oh, I get along great with them. I mean,
Yeah.
because again, I've been in the food. I've been a dealer. I know what help they need from us, and
Yeah.
I try to give that to them.
Yeah.
I think it's for the big guys, it's a very easy business. For the small guys, it's a very hard business.
Yeah.
But I think it's been great for the hobby, just because again the amount of exposure that we've had, the ability to find new customers that do different things, it's big. I mean, because again, I think these cases are getting so expensive. It really is the equivalent of fractional ownership at its finest. It allows people everyone gets to enjoy the case for a small piece of the price.
Yeah.
There's value in that.
Yeah, that's great.
Now, is it great when a guy buys a spot in a break and doesn't get anything? No, that's not great.
Right.
I'm not a fan of that. I think there's got to be some better way.
Yeah.
But I think the breakers are important to the business. And that's one thing that, here at the Summit, people who are here at the end of the show are going to hear from me. I'm going to bring it because everyone in this room has some important value that they can't undersell themselves.
Yeah.
They have to see that. So I think the breakers are huge.
Yeah.
I keep getting off topic, but
No, it's okay.
There's so many great. I think the breakers are such an important piece. Some people don't think they are, and they're wrong.
I appreciate the passion.
They're a big part of the
I appreciate
business.
the passion in what you're. It doesn't matter to me going off topic or whatever
yeah.
because when you're feeling it and you've got passion,
There you go.
It shows up in your product and it shows up in a soundbite.
Sure.
All the news with what Fanatics is doing is obviously everybody's got their hearts aflutter or whatever. Is it weird? Is it interesting that you guys are kind of in a spot that I don't want to say it doesn't apply because it's a big shakeup in what's going on, but you guys are kind of on an island watching the fireworks happen and you're just going to enjoy the view.
Well, thank golly, because I get in the fireworks way too much. But I'll tell you, I had people call me and congratulate me when Fanatics made their announcement because they saw it as a huge win for Leaf. They thought I come out of this thing smelling the best. I'm the
Tell me
winner.
why.
And they think, and again, I'm not saying I believe this,
Yes.
but they think that ultimately I am probably in the strongest position to compete with Fanatics because of some of the freedoms I have. And all these other companies who will no longer be making the officially licensed cards, they might find a creative workaround or what have you, but I think they're still going to have some limitations. So, I mean, everything I'm hearing is people think that Leaf has tremendous upside. For me, that's what my closing speech is here at the Summit. It really is about pivoting and making adjustments and playing out the game in your head before it happens so you know what all the eventualities are and how
Yep.
you're going to respond.
Yep.
And I think, to me, that's a big part of the equation. And I think it's going to be exciting. I met with them and I told them, I said, this is going to be a case study. I met with them here. And I
Met with who?
Fanatics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I said, this is going to be a case study that I'm going to show people this case study, how you react, how you respond. What you guys decide to do right here is going to be either magnificent or one of the worst executed ideas ever. You're either going to make or break right here.
Yep.
And I think that's why it's prudent that they're taking time to talk about it, not rush.
Yeah.
Get your bearings, know what you're going to do, and then make a plan.
Yep.
And I think that's good. I really do. I think everyone wants them to tell them right now what they're going to do so they can be relieved.
Yeah.
And there should be some people nervous because things can change.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm dealing with in my closing is that exact issue because people need to understand this is the one thing certain in Fanatic situation is going to be changed. That's it. That is a certainty.
What do you guys have on the whiteboard right now? What's down the pipeline for you guys that you're excited about?
I mean, I'll tell you, we're full bore ahead. We got big, huge in NIL. the name, image, likeness with the college players.
Yep.
We've already signed 175 college football players to contracts, maybe 180, something
What
like
do those
this.
deals look like? Not monetarily, but I mean, you having them sign autographs?
They sign autographs for us, and we have their rights until they graduate or come out for the draft. And so we're gung-ho there. We think that is the most exciting growth area in the industry.
And that's the cutoff for NIL?
The NIL deals cut off whenever they're
pro.
no longer eligible. We can't have a deal that like goes into their pro career. That's not allowed.
Okay, so there's not an end date on these contracts.
Sometimes there's an end date. Sometimes there's not. Some players that are high profile, we might have 1-year deals if they're a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
That way, as they grow in the game, we pay them more. Mm-hmm. If they take a step back, we don't renew or we pay them less. Mm-hmm. But I think these deals, it's just going to give collectors another way to collect, invest, enjoy, speculate, whatever it is they do every Saturday, in addition to Sunday during football season and during March Madness. I mean, in the past, we've had to wait until these guys went pro to enjoy their collectibles. Now we have a shot.
Yeah.
And the players we're talking to, they love it. They're making so much money. I mean, you have multiple players that will make $1 million this year in their whole package.
Yep.
Endorsements, cards, whatever. That's amazing.
This is something that has been a philosophical question that we've talked about on the ticket. And there's two questions. This one question just came up, and then another question that you'll answer differently than everybody else here has. But the first of which is about NIL. Do you think that there's going to be kids, because anybody there's guys that make it in the pros. There's guys that kick ass in college, make it to the pros, get a lot of money, and can't handle it. There's going to be kids that can't handle this money in NIL. I think this is just the law of averages. There's some people that are just not going to. There are people that are probably going to get drunk on their early success and maybe not
literally
advance to maybe quite literally. You know what I'm saying? Like not that you are a bad guy or NIL's a bad guy, because I'm just trying to always see every side of every situation. And there's other people.
I will tell you from my experience, most of these players have taken agents or advisors. Mm-hmm. I think most of these kids are much further along than draft picks used to be when they went pro.
I could see that.
Because they went from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Now they're going from 0 to 20 to 40 to 100.
Okay.
So this is really a ramp up.
Yep.
Because instead of getting a $20 million contract and everybody's throwing money at them, it is more limited what they get. There's a handful of guys that'll get $1 million, but like so many players are getting $5,000 here, $5,000 there.
Yeah.
And so it really is just, I mean, I don't
mean to say that it's going to happen everybody.
I think it's a nice ramp up to the pro. I think it actually is going to help players make a better adjustment when they go pro.
Cool.
I think it'll help them. I think it's much more of a culture shock for a kid from an inner city that plays basketball who goes to college and literally lives on ramen, you know?
Yeah.
And then he goes to the pros and he gets a $100 million max contract 4 years in.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's like boiling cold water to steaming hot water.
Yep.
That's too much. I mean, freezing cold to boiling hot. That's too much of an extreme.
Yep.
I think so far what I'm hearing, hope this is the case, I think the kids are much more responsible financially. They've got people on their side helping them. The deals are often negotiated with agents, not with the kid.
Yeah, but I mean,
so they're not
even
getting taken advantage of. But
there's also family members that mess things up on the pro level.
Oh, no
too.
doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like
people
that's gonna happen.
People get in their ear and start yapping. But I don't think it's going to be a case of a kid at UT is sitting out on 6th Street,
right,
getting his check and walking straight into the bar and getting hammered. I don't
Right.
think that's the case generally.
Right.
I think it's much more professional than any of us thought it was going to be. It is the Wild Wild West. It's not well organized. NCAA totally blew it. But I think the kids are in pretty good shape.
Final question, and like I said, you're going to have a different outlook on this question than anybody else has here. I've asked everybody the same question. 2 or 3 names of somebody that either you would be investing in or you think investors should be investing in that are not Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Oh, you don't want the easy ones?
No!
Okay, good.
But it's not even that. The point is that I asked this question, I'm like, who's a $15, $50, $100 card right now or in the near future that in 3 years is going to be a $3,000 card? And nobody else has been bringing up the NIL thing, so I think that might be
There could be something there. We don't know yet because there's no products out yet, really.
Right.
But I'll tell you what I buy. Because, I mean, I have a pretty good stash. My number one card that I buy is Topps Update Ronald Acuna's.
Okay.
PSA 10s. They're $120. There's 18,000 of them, so it's a high pop card. Mm-hmm. I have 1,650 of them.
Oh, my God.
So I have almost 10% of the entire population.
Oh, my God.
Now, I will buy every one. I'll buy all 18,000 at 120. So I'll pony up for that. But I think you get to a point where you got to make a stand.
Yeah.
I think Acuna is the top 3 player in the game.
Okay.
No-brainer pick for me.
Okay.
If you want to buy higher end, the card I buy number 1 is 1993 SP Derek Jeter PSA 9s. Those are more rare than PSA 10 Michael Jordans that go for $400,000. The SP Jeter in a 9 is much more. It's more rare, and it's a $10,000 card. So I've got about 10 of those, and they're 230. I think there's 231 of them.
Okay, interesting.
So again, I'll buy every one of them, 10,000, no doubt. So I mean, I think there's cards like this, and you can buy at any level. That's a beautiful. You bring up a great point.
Yeah.
You can buy $20 Jude Bellingham Topps Chrome soccer rookies, and they literally can be 100, like in a flash.
Yep.
And so that's what's beautiful about our business is at any level you can buy, and play along, and take a shot at seeing if you can pick the next big winner. I like to play either big quantities like the Acuna, which I'm unhealthy obsession with, or the SP Jeters where honestly, I think that card can be $50,000, and for $10,000, I think I just have to buy all of them.
And last, not to make you pick between your children, but what's your favorite Leaf product right now?
I've talked to a few people, and I love the pop culture stuff. And I know you're a sports guy. I love pop culture.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of companies that make sports cards. Everyone does a great job, but we are the best at entertainment. Over the years, we had Donald Trump's first on-card autograph.
Really?
When he was on The Apprentice.
Wow.
We paid him $75. That was a good deal.
God, that's a great deal.
They go for like $5,000 now. But we had Britney Spears, James Gandolfini, Al Pacino. We're doing a deal with Robert De Niro right now. Harrison Ford, J-Lo. These are like monster names. We had Kardashian sisters when they first were like anything. I think we paid Kim $25 and Khloe and Kourtney $5 a piece.
Oh my God.
And they were nobody then.
Oh my God.
But they were just getting a little buzz,
Yep.
a little social media buzz. They were just getting popular, and now they're phenomenal too. So we're so good at catching these names in pop culture, and when a collector who collects cards sees that Donald Trump has an autograph, they go crazy. Maybe not, or maybe they want to rip it up. It depends who you are.
Nobody's not going to care about it. Let's put it that way.
They think it's something.
Right.
Or they see Harrison Ford or Al Pacino or Britney. I'm a Britney fan, so that's when I got her. It was like a huge achievement.
Cool.
Or we had Lindsay Lohan or whoever it is. People see those cards and it's so unique to everything else out there.
I'm trying to end this interview, but you keep saying something that reminds me of something else. We've asked a couple people, and this is not a morbid type question, but it's a reality of the business, and you mentioned somebody just a second ago that I forgot who's deceased now.
James Gandolfini.
James Gandolfini is exactly right. How do you have a stash of actors, athletes that have passed away that you had an agreement with or something? They have a bunch of stuff, and then you change how you manage that stash.
Most of the time we use it before they pass away. We have a lot of hockey players.
But sometimes
that
it just
pass away.
happens, is what I'm saying.
It happens. Most of the time, we'll never like sensationalize it.
No, but it's something you have to deal with.
We'll continue using them.
Yeah.
We've done memorial cards, like we had Gene Wilder's when he passed away.
Oh, really?
And so we did like a memorial to Gene Wilder on his card. But it really just depends. I'll tell you. We had I'll tell you two things real fast. DMX, the rapper, we had his only autograph.
Wow.
It was like $20, and when he passed away, now they're $3,000.
Sure.
So people invest and speculate on these. That's not the right reason to speculate, but some do.
No, yeah.
But when someone passes away, these autographs tend to go up a lot.
I'm just saying, they're still there.
But that's a big one. They're still there. They are what they are.
Yeah.
And so, we see a lot of stuff like that. And actually, when we first started Pop Century, we had a weird thing happen. 4 or 5 people in the set were dying every year. In the office, we called it the Pop Century curse.
Oh, God.
Because we literally had, within 2 months of the product coming out, 2 to 5 people would die in the set every year. And one year it was Michael Clark Duncan, and it was Gandolfini, and it was Jeff Conaway, and it's just like, I was like, my guys
what are we doing here?
My guys were like, do you want to be in the Pop Century set? I said, hell no, I don't want to be in that. They all die. I don't want to be in that set. But we really had a run there where, we had multiple people die every year, and it was like,
jeez,
I wouldn't want to be in that set.
Yeah.
So when I signed someone to an autograph deal, I apologize to him afterward and tell him, you got like a 1 in 20 shot of not making it, it really, but no, listen, it is what it is. We have to be sensitive. Carrie Fisher, we had when she passed away, and I'm
just fascinated by that. Those things still exist.
We just want to make sure we never sensationalize it, and we just use them the same way we would have when they were alive. Yeah. And if anything, we might put in memoriam dates or something like this, but that hasn't happened that much. But it'll happen. Now that you said it, we're gonna lose 10 people this year.
Brian Gray with the saddest way to end an interview here on the Collectible Network.
Not the saddest, but
I
could make it worse. We don't know what's going to happen with Fanatics yet in the industry. That could be sadder.
That's
we'll
true.
See.
That's true.
Hopefully not.
That's a
but
dig.
It could be.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.